Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the Four of Wands, which has everything to do with completion. All right. Okay, let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. We have a 2. That's the first thing I saw. 2 right there. Okay, we also have, it maybe is a 1. It could be 21. We also have, it looks like probably a Taurus energy. So we have 12 and a Taurus. And I don't know what that means yet. We'll have to spin this thing around and kind of check it out, see what's going on. Get some context. Hopefully everybody is recovered from this eclipse. This is a nice bowl. We have some really cool formations here. Oh. All right, let's go. Now I want to look at, we have a horse, a stallion even. Look at it like rearing up. We have a happy face right here. And it almost looks like we have a person with a magnet. And we have a person here maybe being kind of drawn in, and another person here kind of like holding on, right? Begging almost, it looks like. So immediately, I mean, in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, so this feels like maybe within a relationship, somebody kind of being pulled astray, or they've decided that they're going to, be leaving. They've met somebody else, or they've, there's been some infidelity or whatever it is. And there's this energy of like really trying to like stop this from happening. This is, maybe marriage and, or a long-term relationship, really wanting to hold on to this thing, trying to figure out like, how can we fix this, whatever it is. We also have, the sword up here. Okay, we have the sword, we have the stallion. And I get in my head, I'm thinking like, be brave, dear heart, be brave, and it really is this kind of sense of like, step away from the emotionality of the thing. Kind of, I'm closing my eyes right now as I'm saying this, kind of like stepping back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, getting to that 5 at least. Looking at the situation and thinking, this is, what is that saying? What's not for me, whatever will not stay, or I forget what it is. But it is, that's the whatever is not for me is going to go, right? What is for me in this time, it will stay. And, we've all been in a situation like this, or at least I know I have, right? I've been probably every person in this situation at some point. And especially if you are really trying to figure out how to fix this relation, do something. holding on to this person who, by the way, it really feels like is already checked out. And I don't know, you know, I can't imagine really a Gemini person begging for somebody to stay. Maybe like for a minute, and it's like, and then you catch yourself and you're like, get out of here, you know. Kind of vacillating between. But you know, I think in your heart of hearts, you know it's not right. You know that something has passed. It just, the situation is not one that is well, it's not going to be fruitful for anybody involved. And so, you know, I feel like maybe you're the one walking away. Maybe you're the one, you've met somebody and they're in the middle of a divorce, or they're, you know, whatever, you know, no judgment from me. I'm not gonna say anything. But, you know, maybe it is that you have had this, you know, courtship. We'll call it a courtship. And it's just, you know, this experience of love is overwhelming, and it's, you know, what you want to be in and they want to be in, and, you know, whatever. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of it, but I do feel like there's just so much emotions here. Now, at the end of the day, you know, I think everything really just kind of resolves itself, and it will, you know, that is life. It feels like a big issue right now, and it will, and it maybe is something that will color your experience of relationships for all time, you know. But here's the thing, is that if you can get out of this without any kind of lingering resentment, you know, trying to untie yourself from this kind of betrayal, or, you know, maybe you are the one that has been the betrayer, you know, not hanging on to the guilt of that, right? Now, was it the best thing? Ideal? Probably not, right? But love is, what am I going to say? Love is an MFer, right? I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. But yeah, you know, it makes us behave, you know, strangely at times. So I really do think, you know, stepping back and really taking a full account of what is going on, and then making your decision, whatever part of the story that you might be. And maybe this is something that has already happened, you know, and you're looking back on it, and there's a pang of anger, maybe still a little anger, a pang of maybe guilt, sadness, shame. You know, ultimately, I have to say this because I don't really know, but I feel this looking at it. It doesn't seem like it works out for anybody, but at the end of it all, you know, there is a sense of happiness here. And maybe, you know, and this is terrible really, but maybe this is just a really complicated way to end up breaking up, you know. And I mean, I think it's pretty often that when somebody leaves somebody for somebody else, it does not end up being a great relationship, you know. Maybe it does sometimes, I don't know, but yeah, I imagine to build a foundation on that kind of, you know, whatever, connection, it's not an easy it's not an easy task, okay? So, you know, I feel like during this time, or during this situation, these circumstances, yeah, it's a rough one. But again, that energy just, you can't hold a Gemini down. I mean, you just can't. And so, this is like a Greek comedy, hopefully, right? Everybody can be friends at the end, maybe like 30 years down the road, you know, and so it is, right? And so it is. Okay, so we also have a dragon. We have a person riding the dragon. We have a flower. We have an eye. Okay, we also have a person standing here. Then we have a person in a car, it looks like. So I kind of feel like this is a Taurus person. Look, we have it looks like a cow with the horns, but also with the body of kind of a person, almost like a pan. So you know what? I really feel like maybe you are having some kind of entanglement with a Taurus, which, by the way, a Taurus and a Gemini person together sounds amazing. Very passionate, but also, gosh, the arguing that might come from that kind of, entanglement. But yeah, I could see that. I definitely could see that being a pretty potent relationship. So I do. I feel like there was a sense of this last thing that was going on. I mean, even if it's like you've been married for, 15 years or 30, 40 years, and they're gone for whatever reason. You left them, they left you, whatever it is. I feel like you moving in this year, into this love situation, friendship, it could be friendship, okay? Not everybody has to be coupled up or, have a title or whatever. But I do think this is at least a friend situation, maybe a beloved situation, a lover, or maybe a long-term relationship is becoming. But my goodness, we have the dragon. We're in the year of the dragon, the person riding it. Absolutely getting your stuff together. You are just absolutely on top of things, okay? Making the life that you want with the space that you have. I think that, there's at times been a fear of like detaching yourself to be alone. And maybe, and I wonder, I do wonder, maybe you have not been alone often in your life. Like you haven't been single in your adult life for very long, right? And maybe you've been in this long-term marriage relationship, or maybe, you're kind of a serial monogamist, which I don't say that negatively, right? I understand. I mean, I do. It feels good to be connected with somebody. But I think that in this like dissolution of whatever was before, there's been space here for you to kind of get your mojo back, but even like not even just a romantic or sensual mojo. I'm talking about figuring out what you like. Like, what do you want in your house? What do you want it to look like? You're not cleaning up after anybody. You're not worried about their schedule or, I just thought of like making sure that you get the right kind of milk they like or whatever, you're living for yourself right now and flourishing. But you know what? That bright shining light that you are, it is like, bringing in some people. I think that you are attracting some really potent Taurus energy. And I feel like this courtship, I feel like there is a I love you coming soon. And I feel that you maybe love, or you love the situation with this person. I mean, it maybe makes you feel really confident. It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel, attractive and wanted, and I feel like this is a place where you are building upon yourself. And by the way, there's nothing vain or I mean, it can be cross over into that, or prideful, or, you know, self-centered about wanting to feel good in the, you know, by the wanting of somebody else, you know. It absolutely, like, we can't live fully on that, right? That can't be the only thing. But when it does come about, you know, and it just like compounds the beauty of the life that you are creating, and it feels so natural in this space. Yeah, that's something really, I mean, that's, yes, A1, right? Absolutely. Nothing to feel shabby about, I guess I should say. All right, let's see, what else do we have? Any little things in here? We have that 2. That 2 is perfect. It just is a nice one. We have a couple of T's. T and T. And I want to look at... This one looks like a person who... I almost see like a blacksmith with the kind of oven thing and the furnace, and... not a blacksmith. No, I'm wrong. It's a person with a wand and a cup. So maybe a magician. I'm going to take a little drink here. An alchemist. A sorcerer. Some kind of practitioner. And so we have that passion. We have that emotionality. We have those 2 creative forces coming together. Yes, and we have the furnace, and that is the place of fortification. Okay, so again, that strength, the strength through really exploring these places, that really fiery and watery element. Okay, absolutely beautiful. We have below it the little house right here. So I almost feel like you are... in this time that you are with yourself, kind of like I said, in your home, feeling like this is your space. It's not, you don't have to share anything here. And maybe for the first time in a long time. And at first that maybe is kind of depressing. It's kind of scary. You don't know what to do with yourself. But you begin to create your own temple, you know, where nobody else has to be invited in, unless you want them to be, you know. There's not a lot of compromise here. There's a sense of real freedom and just kind of, I mean, just really evolving as yourself as an individual, you know, maybe changing kind of your style or the way that you decorate your space. And I keep bringing that up. And it's not, you know, I really, and I'm a vibe person, right? I like an atmosphere, I like a vibe. I'm really, I need my house to feel like art, you know, and in my own way, you know, kind of like if you can imagine like maybe like a bazaar meets like Baba Yaga's little cabin meets like, I don't know, I can't even think of something else, just, you know, something that has some beautiful artifacts and books and that kind of thing. So you know, it is a place you want to create an environment where you walk into it and it's like, yeah, this feels like an extension of myself. This is, you know how like some people have like dogs and their dogs look like them and they look like their dogs. I I feel like this is not a phenomenon that I'm making up. I've seen things about it, I swear, online. So I kind of imagine the same kind of energy in your physical world. Like your space really, it matches you as like your aura, right? Your space has your aura. And I think this becomes more and more complex as you spend more time there and you have this space. And then it's like you meet somebody and you bring them over, and it just feels right? It feels right. And so let's see what else we have. The 13. We have a 1 and a 3 right there. 13. We have 13 and we have a 12. So 12, 13. Okay. And that smiley face, I love it. I mean, really, at the end of it all, there is a smile. It all comes together. Everything in its right place. Everything is always in its right place, really. Okay. So we have a rat. Ooh, and its tail just fell off. We have a rat right there. A survivor. An adapter. I have to take some sips. I know. I'm trying to stop saying sorry about it. I know some people don't like it. But I have to. I think my allergies are kicking in a little bit. I was outside in the wind today, and it really got me a little bit. Okay, so we also have a person standing here. It looks like they have maybe like a little robe on. Ooh, just spilled. Okay. We have a little robe on, and they're standing on it. Looks like a rock, and I can almost imagine this feeling of being at the ocean, you know, kind of standing on a rock as the tide is pulled out. And yeah, this is it. So feeling like, you know, if you've been to the ocean and when the tide gets pulled out and the beach, it exposes a bunch of the beach, it can almost feel like a desert in a way, right? And so the desert, as far as spiritual symbology goes, is often related to suffering, to, like the hermit. I think of the desert fathers, the saints of the desert mothers as well. And just a sense of living in a discomfort so that you may learn, right? This closeness of everything kind of being stripped away, living in a really extreme environment, and finding some understanding of the universe through that. Now, doing this at the ocean, it feels similar, right? When the tide is out, at least the way that it looks. And so I'm thinking it's like you come down off that rock and you think, oh, okay, now I'm out here. The water's gone. It's not as beautiful. But now you're on land, right? Where if you were standing on that rock and there was water around you, you're kind of on your own little island. Now you come down and you're walking, and as you look around, there are pools of water, and when you look in those pools of water, there are micro universes. There are all kinds of animals and coral and sea anemones and, you know, seaweeds and whatever, lots of stuff, and it's beautiful, and it is an absolute divinity in life. I mean, a gem, right? And so I feel like there are blessings and troubles here, right? There are blessings and troubles, even if it hurts. Even if it hurts, there are blessings there. You have to open your eyes and look for them, okay? I know it's not easy, especially if you are feeling betrayed, especially if you are feeling like you had to make a decision that was out of, you know, desperation for your own self-preservation. If you did something that you are not proud of, but, you know, you followed your heart, for better or worse, right? Whatever it is. And it caused troubles. I mean, there are troubles here. But there are blessings in these troubles. And often we do things, and especially when they are kind of extreme, right? Which infidelity is a pretty extreme thing. we do them from a place that is much deeper than, you know, animal attraction. It could be that, I guess, but I would say I have a lot of faith in humanity, okay? I would say that often it comes from a deeper place, and we make these moves because we put ourselves in positions where there's no coming back. You know, this is something, it's put on the record, right? It's written into the stone. It happened. It's not any kind of wish-washy thing. This is it. And so a choice must be made. And yeah, it's not easy. It's difficult, you know, but there are blessings in the troubles, you know, even if it causes a lot of fallout, even if it is that, you know, your life is unrecognizable, even if you're going to struggle, right? You know, you're financially or emotionally, having, you know, not really knowing what's going to happen, or you don't have a plan for this. You haven't planned for this kind of thing to happen. But you find a way. And on your way, you find those blessings, and those blessings find you. And again, we have a smiley face. Look at that. Perfect, right? Yes. We find a way. We find a way. All right, Gemini. Let's take a look at these Indigo Sage affirmation cards. These are the air element. All right, I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Here we go. Appreciation illuminates. Embrace an absolute love of life without exception. No exceptions here. It's all love. Or it's all the pursuit of love. Okay, Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. I want to tell you I love you because I do, and I think you know. I hope you do. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, that's the next one. If you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean the world to me. And I'll be transparent. If you're mean, I will delete it. You know, I know all of the greats, they say, don't look at the comments. Just ignore it. Even my husband says, just ignore it. I ignore the bad too. Or the, you know, people just being flippant or rude or whatever. I cannot find my way to that yet. I'm looking for it. Trying to fortify myself in that way, but I am a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, Aquarius moon, and I am. Not only that, I have a lot of Leo placements. So I'm emotional, I'm sensitive as heck, but oh my goodness, I will. You know, I have to tame myself. So anyways, I just like to be transparent about that. I do. I delete things if I don't like them. Or if somebody's being rude or fighting with other people or whatever, I will clean it up. Now, the comments are getting more and more every day because the channel is growing, which is awesome. So sometimes I miss that stuff. But, you know, it's important to me that people are not, I don't know, being hurtful. Really, I go full mom mode on this. Even with myself, I'm like, and I feel bad, but I'm just like, do you really know how you are talking to somebody? I mean, goodness, do not be mean to people. There's no reason, you know? I'm a human. There's all of the people on this channel who come here and watch and take the time to comment, by the way. Which is like, I mean, I think it's just, I really appreciate it. I do. I'm so honored by it. And I know it's just, it takes time out of your life. And even if it is 30 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever, I absolutely appreciate the comments. And so I don't like seeing people be mean to each other. So I said what I said. All right. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night. Good night. Good night. All right. I got to press the right button this time. Here we go. Here we go.